For the past decade, Rust has systematically conquered backend infrastructure and embedded systems. Its compiler guarantees memory safety without a garbage collector, locking perfectly into place to prevent data races before a program even runs. This dominance relies on a strict ownership model. The compiler ensures that a specific piece of data in memory has exactly one owner, and it tightly restricts how that data can be borrowed or mutated. But user interface design relies on a different model. A modern UI is an interconnected graph of state where multiple, disparate components must constantly read and mutate the same data simultaneously based on unpredictable user inputs. Rust's borrow checker actively resists this. It immediately halts compilation if it detects unrestricted mutable aliasing, multiple variables trying to change the same data at once. This makes standard UI engineering in Rust incredibly abrasive. On the left, traditional Rust forces developers to wrap state in heavy smart pointers, demanding verbose cloning syntax. But on the right, Dioxus utilizes the use signal hook. This React-inspired ergonomics allows developers to write state without fighting the compiler. The framework achieves this by bypassing traditional reference counting entirely, relying instead on specialized generational memory arenas to manage state. To understand how a single Rust codebase can target consumer platforms, we have to map out exactly how this memory arena operates, how the framework optimizes virtual DOM execution, and how it decouples its logic from the underlying rendering engine. If this architecture proves scalable, it bridges the historical gap between high-performance systems programming and rapid front-end product development, allowing organizations to maintain their entire front-end and back-end in a single language. Early versions of Dioxus, from 0.1 to 0.4, tied state management directly to a component's scope using Rust's static compiler lifetimes. While highly performant, this created a rigid ceiling for developers. Whenever an engineer attempted to pass a scoped reference into an asynchronous future for a network request or share it across a background thread, the borrow checker rejected the code. The release of version 0.5 addressed this by removing component lifetimes entirely. The core engine was rewritten to utilize a state management architecture known as the generational box. This visual model illustrates the mechanics of the central memory pool, or the arena. When a UI component creates a signal, it deposits the actual data into this global pool outside of its direct ownership. In exchange, the pool returns a small numbered ticket representing a generational index. Because these numbered tickets implement the Rust copy trait, the component holds on to a lightweight identifier that can be duplicated freely, leaving the underlying data securely anchored in the global pool. Engineers can now pass state into closures and asynchronous event handlers implicitly. The master data updates directly in the pool, following the developer's intent without movement restrictions. If a user navigates away and a component drops from the UI, the central arena updates its generational number. If a lingering background task later attempts to access that state using the outdated ticket, the arena simply rejects the request, triggering a safe runtime failure rather than a memory leak. By providing the implicit dependency tracking of JavaScript frameworks without requiring unsafe memory access, this mechanism allows Rust developers to build reactive interfaces without fighting the borrow checker. With state securely isolated in the arena, we turn to how the user interface is actually constructed on screen using the declarative RSX macro. Older web frameworks often rely on string-based template engines that reevaluate entire documents during a state change. Dioxus takes a different approach by running a static analysis on the RSX syntax directly during compilation. As this parsing diagram shows, the compiler identifies the static HTML elements and separates them from the dynamic signal variables. At runtime, the virtual DOM ignores the rigid structure and only evaluates the dynamic segments, reducing the diffing workload. When an application targets the web, these computed virtual DOM diffs must be translated into actual browser DOM mutations. But crossing this boundary layer between a WebAssembly execution zone and the JavaScript DOM is historically slow. Dispatching DOM mutations one by one creates a serialization bottleneck. To solve this, Dioxus implements a custom string batching system called Sledgehammer. Instead of making individual browser calls, the WebAssembly side packs every attribute change and node mutation into a single, highly compressed data buffer. Sledgehammer then transmits this buffer across the WASM boundary in a single, highly optimized operation, mutating all target DOM nodes simultaneously on the other side. Through compile-time static analysis and single-operation mutation batching, WebAssembly can manipulate the browser DOM with speeds that rival natively optimized JavaScript. This execution speed extends beyond the client. For full-stack web applications, Dioxus removes the manual work of building and synchronizing REST API endpoints between front-end and back-end teams. Utilizing the Dioxus full-stack crate, developers can write secure back-end database logic in the exact same file as their front-end user interface components using the server macro. This diagram illustrates an intricate compile-time bifurcation. When the REST compiler encounters a function with the server annotation, it splits the execution path based on the target deployment environment. During the backend build, the function compiles as a standard Axum HTTP endpoint. It retains full, secure access to the underlying file system and databases. But on the WebAssembly client build, the compiler strips that backend logic. It replaces the function body with an auto-generated remote procedure call stub that transparently handles the network request. Because the type signature of the Rust function strictly dictates the network payload, the client-server boundary is verified at compile time, eliminating broken internal APIs. This decoupling principle extends to the rendering engine itself. The core virtual DOM and state engine operate in isolation from the display medium, allowing the same logic to map across distinct hardware targets. Currently, the framework drives web browsers directly via WebAssembly, while natively compiling as a system process on desktop and mobile platforms, relying on OS-provided web views to render the interface. Strict architectural isolation allows a framework to deploy a single codebase across disparate operating systems without forcing developers to rewrite component logic for each environment. However, a unified syntax does not automatically guarantee universal platform maturity. Evaluating the framework for production environments requires checking the actual state of its deployment targets. This platform maturity matrix maps the current reality. Web, desktop, and server targets are highly optimized, but moving beyond desktop introduces friction. Mobile targets are constrained. Relying on system web views on iOS and Android lacks the 120 Hz hardware acceleration found in dedicated native SDKs. To address the performance gap of WebView wrappers, Dioxus Labs is engineering Blitz, a native rendering engine designed to bypass browser components. Blitz utilizes the WGPU ecosystem to draw pixels directly via the system GPU, integrating Mozilla's Stylo engine to calculate CSS layouts without the overhead of a JavaScript runtime. But this native renderer is in a pre-alpha phase. It currently has high RAM utilization during complex operations and lacks support for several HTML edge cases. It is not yet ready for production use. Despite constraints, the stable targets offer significant strategic value. Adopting this architecture lets an organization consolidate disparate engineering roles around a single, highly performant language. A single cross-trained Rust team can now maintain the front-end, back-end, and native desktop applications simultaneously. This reduces context switching and lessens exposure to the vulnerabilities of volatile package registries. By resolving the UI memory paradox with a generational arena and decoupling the rendering engine, Dioxus expands Rust's reach into the graphical interface space, offering a unified path for full-stack and desktop applications.